Growing up, I always felt like the supporting character in my own family. My parents adored my younger sister, Claire, and I was just there. If Claire scored a B on a test, it was celebrated with ice cream. If I scored an A, the reaction was, "Good. That's expected from you." It became a pattern. Every achievement of mine was treated as routine, while every little step Claire took was magnified into brilliance. I learned to wear a mask. The perfect daughter mask. Always smiling, always giving, always quiet. When Claire got engaged, I was genuinely happy for her. Despite everything, she was my sister, and I wanted her to feel special on her big day. I told myself I could endure a few more days of being invisible. But I was wrong. The real wound was waiting for me at the wedding. As the wedding preparations started, the pressure fell on me in ways I didn't expect. My parents often called late at night to discuss expenses. "You know, a wedding is once in a lifetime," my mother reminded me. "Your sister deserves everything perfect." My father added. I nodded along, even when I was exhausted from work. Even when my savings account barely covered my rent. I offered to contribute what I could. A few $1,000s for decor, and a little extra for Claire's dress fitting. I thought it was generous. But I could see the flicker of disappointment in my parents' eyes every time. It wasn't enough for them. It was never enough. The wedding day arrived. The hall was glowing with golden lights, soft music filled the air, and guests buzzed with excitement. I wore my best smile, pretending to ignore the knot in my stomach. Then it happened. In the middle of dinner, my father raised his glass and announced proudly, "We want to thank our elder daughter, who has given her sister the most generous gift of all. 15,000. The hall erupted in applause. Heads turned toward me. People gasped with admiration. Some even whispered, "What a loving sister." I froze. My hands went cold. My fork clattered against my plate. I hadn't given 15,000. I didn't even have 15,000. I wanted to shout, to correct them. But I saw my mother's eyes. That sharp warning glare that said, "Don't you dare ruin this." And Claire. She smiled sweetly, accepted the praise, and even added, "I'm so lucky to have a sister like her." That was the moment I realized. I wasn't just invisible anymore. I was being used. The applause still echoed in my ears long after it faded. My chest felt tight, my throat dry. Strangers came up to hug me, to thank me, to call me selfless. I forced a smile, nodding like a puppet. Inside, I was breaking. That night, as I walked alone to my hotel room, humiliation sank into my bones. They hadn't just lied. They had stolen my dignity. They had painted me as someone I wasn't. And I couldn't even correct it without looking like the selfish villain who wanted to withhold her generosity. Claire knew it was a lie. I saw it in her eyes when she looked at me across the table. But she said nothing. She basked in the glory. That betrayal cut deeper than anything else. I locked myself in my room after the festivities. My makeup smudged with tears as I stared into the mirror. "Why is it always me?" I whispered. I thought of every time I had been overlooked, every time my parents had made me feel less, every time I swallowed my truth for the sake of peace. And now, this. But as I sat there in silence, something shifted inside me. I realized I had one last chance, the wedding speech. It was scheduled for the next evening at the reception. If they wanted me to play the perfect daughter, I would. But not in the way they expected. I didn't sleep that night. I wrote and rewrote, pouring every ounce of pain and truth onto the paper. Tomorrow, I decided, they would hear me. All of them. The reception hall glittered the next evening. Guests laughed, glasses clinked, and Claire sat glowing beside her new husband. When it was my turn, I walked up to the microphone. My hands trembled, but my voice was steady. "Good evening, everyone." I began. I was asked to give a speech for my sister tonight. And I do have a gift for her. Though it may not be what you expect. People leaned in. My parents exchanged uneasy glances. I've heard many of you congratulate me for giving Claire, 15,000 as a wedding gift. I want to clear something up. Because that never happened. Gasps spread across the room. My father shifted uncomfortably. My mother's face drained of color. Claire's smile froze. I don't have that kind of money. And honestly, I don't think love should be measured in dollar amounts anyway. My parents told that story because they wanted this wedding to shine even brighter. But it wasn't the truth. The room fell silent. I took a deep breath and continued, my voice cracking but growing stronger. My real gift tonight is honesty. Honesty to myself and to everyone here. I love my sister, I always have. But love doesn't need a price tag. So my gift to her is this: may she build a marriage where truth is celebrated, not hidden. Where love is valued more than appearances. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Then, to my surprise, people started clapping. Not the polite applause from yesterday, but something deeper, supportive, understanding, even emotional. I stepped down from the stage, my heart pounding. My parents couldn't even look me in the eye. Claire's face was pale, her mascara running as she tried to smile through tears. For once, the power was mine. Not because I lied, but because I told the truth. The rest of the evening was different. Guests whispered, some came up to hug me, telling me how brave I was. A few even said they wished they had my courage. My parents stayed quiet, embarrassed, their social facade cracked wide open. Claire avoided me the rest of the night. And me? For the first time in my life, I felt free. I didn't need their approval anymore. I didn't need to wear the perfect daughter mask. My revenge wasn't cruel. It wasn't loud. It was simple, sweet, and undeniable. I gave them the truth, and in that truth, I finally found myself.